Hey everyone, it's Chrissy and Delphi here, the Creative Eclectic, coming to you from Brisbane. Hope you're having a happy Tuesday. I'm really excited to be here today. So I just wanted to share with you one of my favourite colour combinations tonight. Really hope you're having a fabulous day, and yeah, I also hope that you're ready to play with something different. Alright, I'm just going to put Delphi Dog down. She's come on board to say hello to Megan and say happy birthday, Megan, if Megan's watching. So I'll put her down and we'll flip the camera around and get started. Okay. And hopefully I won't make you sick. I'll just cover the lens while I flip it down. Let's see if we're in the right place. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. All right. So how is everyone today? Just make sure we've got some people watching. I'll just share my oh, you can probably hear Delphi panting. I better put my mic on so you can't hear her panting or licking. Yeah. Just give me one moment while I fix up that mic. Dropping things everywhere. Alright. Let's see if I can just... So, let's see if I've got anyone watching. No, no one yet. Okay, trying to think who usually watches us on a Tuesday night. How's everybody's? Oh, hi Glenda, thanks for watching. How are you? How are you today, Glenda? Okay. Just giving me 1 second or two. Sorry, it's taken me a little bit of time to send that through. All right. How are you, Glenda? Are you well? Oh, you're good. That's great. All right. So, tonight we're playing with one of my favourite colour combinations for Christmas, and it's not what you would probably expect, and we're using it for a birthday card. So, because I'm a really slack friend, and I have a friend who had a birthday recently, and I got the dates mixed up and I haven't done a card for them. So this is my colour combination. and it is shaded spruce, pumpkin pie, melon mambo, and whisper white. And if you have been into the Maya department stores, you would know that these three colours are the colours of their Christmas baubles throughout the store and their trees. So it's on trend. So who else have we got watching? We've got Jan's watching. Hi, Jan. All right, so we're going to make a slimline card, and this is 8 inches long, so it's about almost the width of an A4 sheet, and it's 7 inches, 3.5 inches, and we've scored it at 3.5 inches. Hi Grace, how are you? I'm well, I hope you're well too. Now I've got a piece of pumpkin pie two-tone cardstock. Now this is, it's a bit lighter than regular cardstock, and it's got a white core, and that's not particularly important for that bit, but it will be on the inside. And this one here is a piece of melon mambo. Now I'll just give you the measurements for these. Now I don't know what size a slimline card should be, so I just made it up, okay? So this pink piece is 3 inches by 7.5 inches. This is 3 1/4 pumpkin pie piece is 3 1/4 inches by 7 3/4 inches, and we have a piece of basic white which is 2 3/4 inches by 7 1/4 inches. That's great to hear. How are you, Jan Kelly? Thanks for watching. Then we have another piece of basic white for the inside. I keep going to say whisper white. That's how long I've been doing Stampin' Up for. So this is 7 3/4 inches by 3 1/4. Then I have got a couple of little strips of the pumpkin pie two-tone cardstock and some melon mambo, and we'll get to those in a minute. And I've also got a scrap. Yes, I do have new nails. I even have a new hairdo. If you watch the beginning, you'll see the new hairdo. I had to show it off. Yes, new nails today, Jan. I wanted them to match my Christmas decorations on my table, but they're a bit darker pink, but they're pretty close. All right, so as I said, I love this colour combination for Christmas. So it's really non-traditional and it's fun, and I'm on trend with Maya, so that's even better. So if you live overseas, Maya is the equivalent of a US Macy's or Marks and Spencer's or Valentine's, sort of, in New Zealand. So hope that makes sense. It's not as upmarket as Harrods, but it's not anything to be sneezed at either. All right, and so tonight I thought, because I don't know if any of you know this, today is the anniversary of when the Stamparatus was released in Australia 8 years ago. I'm just going to bring this out a little bit. Anyway, now, as some of you know, I was on the leadership group that developed this and did some user testing of it. And when it was released on this day, the 18th of November, 8 years ago, 27,000 of these beautiful little tools sold out in 17 minutes globally. But the South Pacific, namely Australia and New Zealand, had to go one better, and all of their stock was exhausted in 10 minutes. So that's pretty impressive. It was pretty exciting at the time. So yeah, I thought, given that it's anniversary, and even though we don't have it anymore, and it was, in my humble opinion, bestest tool Stampin' Up! Ever released, I thought we should play with it anyway. So we're playing with it with the Long Time No See stamp set, and I believe this is still available. It's an online exclusive. Oh, didn't you know that, Glenda? Well, there you go. Yeah. It was pretty exciting at the time. And anyway, so we're going to play with the Stamparatus and play with this Long Time No See stamp set. And we're also playing with this lovely product called, what is it called? It's called masking paper. Now, I'm just going to take my little puppy dog off here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the front. And we're going to stamp our little puppy's body. So we want it to have a nice long body. Now I've already stamped and fussy cut a puppy, and we're going to colour it like, I'd say he was my nephew, Chippy. I don't know if dogs can be nephews, but Chippy's going to be my nephew, or great nephew. My niece's dog. He's my favourite puppy, other than Delphi. He's my favourite dachshund. So, yeah. So you learn something new every day, Glenda, don't you? Yeah. So, we're going to, first of all, this is sort of the long neck piece, right? And we're going to stamp that in Memento ink. And I'm just going to stamp it on the front piece. I want to stamp it first so I can see where it's going to go. And we're stamping it in Memento ink. Okay. And oh, that's a very juicy Memento ink pad. And that's about where I want it. So, I know my puppy's feet are going to be about there, so I'm going to just line my cardstock up and put my little magnets on. And I do very much miss this tool, but I can still use it. Now, I'm just going to press that down and make sure that it is perfect. Now you'll see here I didn't get it quite perfect there, and that's because my magnet is in the wrong place. So I'm just going to re-ink. 3. Go over the top of that. Well, perfect, just like I bought one. All right, now we'll grab our baby wipe and wipe that off. So, what's the weather like, Grace, in Nelson? Is it cold? It's always cold in New Zealand this time of year, even though it's supposed to be coming into summer. I remember being there about 8 years ago, or 8 years ago, because I was there when the Stamparatus was released, and we were going to go up to Arthur's Pass, and it was snowing, and it's like, it's not supposed to snow at that time of year. Alright, now as I said, this is a birthday card because I'm a Slack friend, and I think this is an appropriate birthday card. You've got to make sure you put the right sentiment. Now I've already die cut this piece to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to be doing a little bit of colouring tonight with the stamping blends. It's just rough colouring, but I want to make sure that I have everything coloured, all lined up. Yeah. So there we go. Thank you, Jan. I think they're pretty. I think they're sort of Christmassy without being too Christmassy. Okay. So I think that's lined up. You'll see, you'll probably see, Chrissy's arm's on a different angle. I'm just standing up to do this bit. Alright. My B isn't inked up enough. There we go. So I've got my body and my sentiment. I just want to do something on the inside as well. And I'm going to stamp on this little piece. As I said, this is the two-tone cardstock. And I'm going to stamp my apology, which is sorry I'm a little behind. It might be Glenda. It might be my card for Miss M. And she is such a fan of Chippy, so yeah, I thought it was appropriate. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep that over that side there and just move that. And again, we're going to do it in Memento, just because, oops, now it's sticking to the paper. So what I just need to do is make sure that it is lined up. It's flush against the edge and it's straight. Oh, it's typical spring weather. A bit windy but no rain. Oh, your paddocks are dry already. Yeah, we've had weird weather here. We've had microbursts and storm cells, and then the last couple of days we haven't really had anything. I think it rained Sunday, maybe. Yes, I think it did, like for 5 minutes. And where we live, we don't get the storms quite so much, touch wood, because they sort of go round us. Because we live in a bit of what they call it, a hotspot. So when they were developing, they cleared all the trees and made it so that the storms didn't like coming here. All right, now we need to also stamp something on this piece of white for the inside of the card. And I'm going to I'm making this a gift card holder, so I need to just position my pup in the right spot. I'm going to move him right over this way a bit because we just want his head. Okay. Now I will be doing some colouring. So today's a colouring sort of a day. Okay. So I think we've done all our stamping. I'll just clean that off now. So who still uses their stamparatus? Wow. I still think it's the best invention ever. But I might be a little bit biased. Okay. Alright, so I've got my colouring things to colour. Now, we're just doing rough colouring today. I'm not doing a whole heap of blending or anything like that. Hi, Carolyn. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. All right. So, and as I said, I've already stamped one and fussy cut it out. I was going to use the masking paper, but I'm not. I changed my mind. I know. Hard to keep up, isn't it? So we're going to start with doing our dogs first. And I wanted them to look sort of identical. So I'm going to put some light crumb cake on his ears and a bit under his chin. Now, I won't be blending this properly. And then I've got some light and dark pecan pie. You use yours and still love it? Yes. And Jan uses hers? Yes. Yeah, it's such a good invention. So I want to go, first of all, I want to go in with my dark pecan pie. Now we know that underneath his nose will be darker. He'll have a bit of a shadow around his ears and at the base of his ear. And down the neckline. Now every time I colour, it is different. And we want a bit of dark pecan pie on the base of his feet. As I said, this is Chip, so it is a he. And under his belly there. And the back of his tail. Oh, hi, Leanne. How are you? You forgot? Oh. Well, you're probably asleep, hopefully. Okay, we've just been talking about the stamparatus and how it is 8 years today since it was first released in Australia and how it sold out in the South Pacific in 10 minutes and it sold out globally, 27,000 of them sold out in 17 minutes. So We were just talking about that. Now I'm going to add some darker crumb cake to blend in with the pecan pie. And I'm making a belated birthday card. And I'm using my niece's Dashhound Chip, who has his own little Instagram handle, as inspiration. Alright, now to add in some dark crumb cake on his ear and under his chin. And then I'm going to add some more light crumb cake. Because I can. And I will add pecan pie over the top. That is light, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Oh dear, went outside the lines there. Whoops. Didn't even bring my colour lifter. Alright, I'm just going to grab my light pecan pie and just blend it in there. And you'll see I'm just dotting it over because we don't want straight lines. Just a few dots. So it sort of looks a bit mottly. There we go. So we've done Chip's head and ears. Now it's time to start using some colour. Now I didn't bring my dark melon mambo up, but I did bring my light. But we are going to start with our dark shaded spruce. There we go, a dark shaded spruce around her neck. Now we're not doing blending, we're just doing quick colouring. And had I thought about it, I probably should have coloured the body first beforehand, but you love me, so you'll put up with me colouring. I did fussy cut beforehand, so So you were cleaning, Leanne. Oh. You could come and clean my craft room. I always joke that one of my friends always in New Zealand, she says to me, oh, I need help cleaning. I said, will you pay my airfare and I'll be there? And I would do too. She knows that I do a great job for her. And I'm going to do the first two things on this puppy in first two stripes in the shaded spruce, just because I think it's going to be a bit easier. So I'll just grab my light shaded spruce. It's probably the one that's, oh, I just opened it and pulled the nib off. Luckily, I just bought a new one. There's no Megan yet. Okay, so we're just going to do a bit of light shaded spruce. Now some people freak out because I haven't put the lid back on the pink. Please don't freak out. It's all good. So then I know that I want to do a pink, and then I want to do an orange. So then I'm going to do another green. Middle green one here. All right. I don't know. I don't know where she is tonight. She's probably busy. She's probably having dinner. She's probably watching and just saying, Chrissy, I can't believe you're making my card on Facebook Live. But it might not be for her. Who knows? All right, so then we're going to do an orange here, a pumpkin pie. I'm just doing dark pumpkin pie. And I love pumpkin pie. It's a nice colour. And I've messed that up. It's okay. All right. Got back our melon mambo. All right. Oh, I forgot to do the pumpkin pie on there. Quite all right. Doesn't matter if the front is different to the inside. I'm very heavy-handed with these. All right, and then we'll put a little bit of pink there. Where it goes off the page. One more yellow to do, orange to do here. Okay, all right. So now we're just going to do the body, but we've got to work out, we need to cut our little puppy, sorry Chip, you need to cut Chip in half. Okay, so we're going to cut, like that dinosaur ad, you know, where she gets the daddy to chop the dinosaur lolly in half. It's a bit like that. Oh, it's chopped in half. And I'm just going to, so I know that that piece needs to be orange. Alright, so then I can start colouring the body. I might go over a couple of the orange ones with the light pumpkin pie as well, just to give it a bit of interest. Now you see I'm not blending, I'm just colouring. Now if we wanted to, we could get all technical and do blends, but we're just using the blends as colouring rather than. Then we'll go here. So it's basically every third one I'm doing orange. Okay. Now I'm just going to, on a couple of them, just go over it with the light. Just in the middle. There we go. That's enough. Now that will lighten as it dries. So now we're up to our pink. Poor Chip, yeah, I know. Susie and my niece is probably going, oh no, don't look at it, Chip. He's a good little dog. He's coming over for a play date next week. So Delphi's pretty happy about that. I think Stampin' Up needs to bring in some poodle stamp sets. I really do. We haven't had a good poodle stamp set in ages. Now, I'm not real worried that I'm going outside the lines. Because, you know, friends don't worry that their friends are useless at colouring in. Alright, now we're up to green. I'm thinking I like the light shaded spruce a bit better than the dark. So we're just going to use that. Just the light one rather than the dark one. Yeah. Has anyone used this colour combination for their Christmas cards? I think it's just the best. And I think Marnie sent me a photo the other day when she went to Maya, and when she was down here. So it was a couple of weeks ago probably. And she sent me a photo of the decorations as you walk into Maya, and they were these colours, and it's like, oh, that's so nice. So they've used the same decorations this year as they did last year. Alright. Okay, so I've finished my colouring. That was the boring bit. Alright. So now we're going to start assembling our card. As I said, it's a slimline card. So I'll grab some glue. Now I'm using the darker side of my two-tone cardstock. And just centering that. Now I'll have to make an envelope for this because obviously I don't have an envelope the right size. Now I'm just using the Melon Mambo. Doesn't that look nice and happy and bright? Alright, then we're going to stick this one on, as I gave you the directions earlier. So we do have a little bit more stamping to do, I just realised that, but that's alright, there's no colouring with that stamping. So now we're going to line Chippy up, and I'm going to pop Chip's head on there, and I'm just going to pop that on with some glue. But I've got a little wobble thingy here. I did have, I'm sure I've got one, a little wobble thingy, and I thought, well, we could make his butt wobble, because dachshunds have swagger. They really do. They don't walk, they just swagger. I did have one. I'm hoping I've got a wobbly thing. So we're going to line those two up like that. Now, where did I put that wobbly thing? It's just here. You're kidding me. Oh, here we go. So I've got one of these wobbles. So I have these in my little pop-up shop at my classes. And they're just a spring. So you can get metal springs or whatever. But I just get them, and because it's a product that Stampin' Up doesn't sell, we can, and it's not so you can make your own little spring, but I could show you that next week, I guess. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, am I going to show you how to make an envelope? Oh. Alright. I don't have any paper here, really. But yeah, we could do that. Now, this little spring thing is bigger than his body. So what I need to do is just cut some of it off, some of the plastic off. So that you can't see it. And see, it's got a wobbly base, so I need to cut some of that plastic off the base as well. It won't affect how it works. I don't know if you can see where I'm cutting. As long as I don't cut the spring itself, just cutting the plastic where it attaches to the paper will be right. Oh, you want to know? Okay, did I take the paper off? Yeah, did. Okay, so he's got a little wobbly butt. Not sure that is. And so when you flick it, it wobbles. See how cute's that? All right. All right. So now I want to start building the inside. Oh, I am going to, before we do that, I'm going to take a little bit of the crumb cake, just the light one, and use the brush tip. And just brush it under his feet. And as I said, that will fade with time.
Now we'll put the sentiment on too. Let's do that as well. While we're here, get everything done. So you want to know how to make an envelope for this size. Well, I'm going to have to do it in white, Glenda. Is that okay? We're going to line that up. It's dimensionals. Do I have white dimensionals? I do. Got some dimensionals on there. Oh goodness, my watch keeps going off. This poor lady, she was she phoned me 3 times today and she didn't mean to. Every time, like, because I'd sent her a message and she rang me back, but she didn't mean, it was all accidental. Like, oh, poor thing. You know how when it's accidental and you go, oh my God, I don't mean to ring them. Yeah. And you're trying not to have it ring and, oh, poor thing. Just going to pop that up there. Now, we could have inked around that, and I'm okay with what we didn't, because let's face it, the puppy is the hero. Look at that. How fun is that? Alright, so now we're going to do the inside. We're going to pop this piece down. Oh, we missed a bit. Oh, let's just do that bit green. I don't know what I did it on the front. It's green on the inside though. Just thinking what I have up here to make an envelope. Oh yeah, I've got some basic white, so we can do that. So we're just going to stick our little puppy on the inside of the card. Alright, so as I said, it's a gift card holder. So we want to grab our pieces from before. Now, if you had a you had your hole punch or something, you could cut out a little slot. I'm not worried about that tonight. What I am going to do though is just make it a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower so we can see that Chippy's foot. So I'm just cutting this one. It was 2.5 inches. I'm just going to cut it to 1.25 inches. I'm just going to cut it to 1.25 inches. Alright, and then I'm going to cut it down so that it is 7.5 inches. So then this one here, we're going to make that 7.25 inches. And make sure that that's only 1 inch wide. Oh, I didn't cut that very straight. Let me just try that again. Oh, dear me, lucky. I'll be trying to stick that on the card and go, oh, it's not straight. All right. And then we've got this piece here, which is our light two-tone cardstock. And I'm actually going to not cut it, I'm just going to score it. And then I'm going to tear it along that score line. Now, if I were smart, I would have got my, what do you call it? My water painter. So, let's just see if I've got my water painter here. Have I got one? Has it got water in it? Let me just see. If I was smart, I would have got my water painter and I would have put water along where I wanted it to tear, right? So then it just tears so much easier. It tears exactly where that water is. And that's okay. It's still okay. All right. Put it over there. So we've got our let's stick our dark on. Now we're going to use some tear and tape for that piece, only because we want it to only be on the bottom and each side, because it's where our gift card hole is going to go. Now I don't have pattern paper that is the same colour as the piece. I don't even know how I ended up with this two-tone cardstock in this colour. It's not something that I intentionally went out and bought, so I have no idea how it got into my stash. Isn't that a bit funny? I'm going to line it up with the bottom, but I'm going to have a gap at each end, and you want to make sure that it's lined up in the right place, and it's not. I'll just very gently lift it off. I'm just going to move it ever so gently. So it should be right now. There we go, that's better. So then I'm going to add my pink piece. So it's got a little, you can put your little thing in there. Got plenty of space to write. And it wouldn't be a card without bling, so we have to add that bling in as well. So I've got some Melamambo. Isn't he so cute? So nice and colourful. And what you could do is you could actually stamp that dog, the jumper bits, on pattern paper, like Hawaiian paper, and make it like an Aussie dog. Okay, so now we've got, I did think about just putting the back end of the dog on here. I didn't trim it off at the ends, but that's okay. Just going to put that there. So you've got a little bit of pink showing. It looked better in my head. All right, so we need to, I'm thinking our sentiment actually needs some blending brushes or something on it. It needs to stand out a bit more. So I can gently prise that off, right? Very, very gently. And because I'm a pink girl, I really like pink. I'm just going to grab, can't even find my blending brush. I don't know where they went. Just going to grab that. Oh, that one's very dry. So this is a very old Melon Mambo ink pad. And what I'm going to do with this is, see how it's all crusty, right? It doesn't mean that the ink pad is no good. It just means that it's dried out. And it's dried out because of our weather and humidity and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is take it down to the laundry, put on some rubber gloves and wash all of that out. And then I'm going to let it dry overnight and re-ink it, and it will be as good as new. That is just something that happens when you live in a hot, humid climate. And my ink pads used to be stored on a wall that faced the western sun. Now we need to find some bling here. Let's go into the drawer, the magical desk drawer, and see if we can find some. If I can get the top drawer closed. All right. I'm pretty sure that I've got bling up here. One would hope so. Because what you need for this project is you need some rhinestones, and we need to colour them. All right. So I've got a brand new pack of rhinestones. Glenda, did your birthday card and embellishments arrive yet? Probably not. Okay, let's just colour our basic rhinestones. I want 3 big orange ones. Actually, I'm going to have 4. Right. And then I want a couple of pink ones as well, because I can. And it's actually better when you use your brush end to colour them. See? You just let them dry for a couple of seconds. Alright, this is a very cute card. I think it's fun. And Megan will know it's handmade just for her, because, and she'll know it's made with love, because the more I love someone, the more mistakes I make on it. Okay. It's just fun. Alright, and I will show you how to make an envelope. But we're going to have to do it with grid paper, because that's the only thing that I have that's papery that's sort of up here. But that's okay. So we've got, and then we've got a little one here. Another little one. Oh, down here. And we'll pop one round about there. I think that looks all right. Okay, so let's talk an envelope. Now, obviously, this won't be the envelope that it goes to Megan in, but I can show you how I would make it if I was going to make one for this sort of card. All right. We're going to use, in the absence of anything else, we're going to use a piece of grid paper. Actually, we could. Whoops. Let's grab another sheet. So, this sort of card, oh, good. Excellent. This sort of card I would, I've got some scraps of that left over. I would make one that I could slide in from the side. So we're going to, we know that the card is 7 inches, right? So we need at least 8 inches to go around twice. So I would probably make it about 9 inches. So to make it 9 inches, I'm using this 0 at the beginning, and I'm just going to cut it at the 1, and that'll make it at about 9 inches, right? Okay, so this is definitely winging it. I can do some next week with the envelope punch board. That's a really good way to do them. So I know that my card is 3.5 inches tall, right? So what I'm going to do is just at probably 3 5/8 of an inch, do a score line. Now you want to not do it too hard because it'll go through. And we're going to fold that back. And then again, line that fold up with the 3 5/8 of an inch. And do another score line. Just gently score this one. Okay. Now I've probably got too much left, so we could do a flappy one, actually. We can do a flappy one with this. That's a technical term for it. Alright. So, just going to make sure that I might not have scored it exactly in the right spot. So make sure the side edges are all lined up. Okay, so we need to make sure it's the right length now. Okay. So, let's see how long it is. It's 8 inches long. So we want to make sure that it is 8 inches. So we're going to add 1/2 inch on each end. So if we make it about 9 inches long, you're going to have the right length. But because this has already got 1/2 inch here, we're going to cut it at that 8.5 inch mark. All right. So you don't need fancy paper to make an envelope, all right? It would be better with fancy paper. All right. So then we need to make sure that 1/2 inch from each edge, you've got a score line. Okay. Flip it round and 1/2 inch from the other edge. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of cutting. So what I would do is I'm just going to cut to the score line in there. And if you can see the score line, cut to the score line there. And actually make it like a little mitered cut. And also at the top there, cut that to the score line. You can't see the score line very well. But trust me, it's there. So when I say mitered, it's on an angle. Okay. I bring my cutting thing back in. And everybody makes their envelopes differently. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure it's straight, but I'm just going to line up, let's see, line up this thing here with the score line that goes across, and then cut down from that score line down to the bottom, and then there's a score line up here, and we're going to line up with that and cut up. So we're cutting away those little bits. All right, we're going to do the same on the other side. Let's make sure I can see that score line. Now you can make your card a little bit bigger, your envelope a little bit bigger if you wanted to. Don't know that we need to, but so I'm just cutting. So now we've got our little flappy bits. We're going to fold them in. And this is where you need your bone folder to make sure they're nice and straight. Bone fold from there. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my tear and tape, because it's easier than glue. And pop the tear and tape on that little tab bit. Right. Just work up the little end. Now, I'm not peeling the tear and tape off completely just yet. All right. And I shall show you why in just a second. Okay, so we're going to put the tear and tape on both of the tabs. We're just going to fold them over like that, right? And so when we're going to when we close up our envelope, now you don't have to put 2 pieces of tear and tape, but I am doing that because I don't want any sort of gaps. Okay. You just got to be careful you're not overlapping your tear and tape, but it's not also not going off the edge. Okay. Because if it goes off the edge, it's not going to work the way that you want it to work. All right, so we're going to just pull these 2 pieces off, the backing off. Does this make sense so far, Glenda? Alright, so I just pull that bit of black backing off. So this largest flap, I'm just going to fold it up so that it's flush. Right. Okay, then we can pull these little tabs like that, and the tear and tape is going to stick exactly where you want it to. Now, this flappy bit looks a bit suspect, so I want to just fold it, find the middle point, which is there, and bring my paper trimmer back and cut from that middle point just to this point here on the flap. We go that way. All right, then I'm going to cut from that middle point to the same point on the flap. There we go. So we've got our little, I didn't miter that one properly. All right. So that's basically our envelope, and then you could just, let's finish it off, grab our little dash hound, stick him on here. Grab our little dash hound, stamp him on there, and move his body along. Put his little butt on the back. Alright, so then we don't have to colour the dash hound, but what we can do to bring in those other colours, we can grab some of our shaded spruce and just do a little direct to paper, ink to paper. So it's a DTP is the what we used to call it back in the day. All right. Oops, you're not supposed to drop it like that. But you get what I mean. And we'll turn it over to the other side. You could just go like that too. Bit of colour. Then we want to put a little green. So I hope this stems your curiosity now, Glenda. Alright. So this is a really, direct to paper is a really good technique for backgrounds actually. Just gonna add some more pink on the front. You can just pop that like that. There we go. I like the back of my envelope better than the front. So that is how you make an envelope from grid paper. Just wipe my hands so I don't get any ink on my project. And then I'll pop my card in. Oops, I dropped something, I don't know what that was. And then you just pop that in, and I've probably made it too small. So, if you make it too small, so note to self, extend it by 1.5 inches, alright? But that's how you would make it. And we can always fix that. And if you were going to extend it, you just cut off one end and, oh, actually you could cut off both ends and just add a bit of cardstock to make it wider. Let's do that. So then it fits. So I've just got a piece of cardstock. So all I'm going to do, grab my paper trimmer. And I'm just going to trim that very end. So just cut there. Right. Trim this this other end. And we're just trimming it right on the very edge. Alright. So then, that had obviously had adhesive where we didn't want it. So we've got a bit of white. So what did we say? We know that we want it to be 3 3/4, 3.5, just over 3.5, 3 5/8. So I'm just going to take one piece of cardstock that is 3 5/8 of an inch. Alright. Now, this is 2.5 inches wide. So we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to cut it at 1 inch. And then we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. And then cut it at 1 inch. So you've got two 1 inch strips both scored at 1/2 inches. Right. So we're then going to fold that the opposite way of our score line. Grab some tear and tape. Now we know that the tear and tape is 1/4 inch, right? So if we put 2 bits of tear and tape on, one there, and one there, we can just burnish them really well, so that means that it's going to stick really well. Now you could have used more of the grid paper. I'm just going to fold that back a little bit like that, like we did before on both sides. Okay, so we're going to stick this on the inside of our card, of our envelope. Oops, we need to fold it the other direction, towards the fold. Okay, towards this the fold. So the fold will be on the outside. We're going to miter that a little bit. And we're going to let that 1/4 inch show, and luckily we're using grid paper because it's already got lines, right? Close it up and then just pull out, whoops, pull off our little bits of tear and tape, and we'll repeat that at the other end. Right. I'll move my hand up here. Hi Fiona. We're just fixing an envelope that I made. And better late than never, hey? Okay. And we're just going like this. Thank you, I'm glad you like it, Fiona. Yeah, we're just gonna cut off that little, cut it off as at an angle. Now the reason I miter it is because it just reduces the bulk, right, and it's a bit more seamless. Okay, now remember, we're going to fold the tear and tape backing towards the fold. Okay, now you're probably thinking, oh Chrissy, that looks terrible with that white. I have a solution. Alright, so bear with me. So we're going to line this up with our 1/4 inch on the inside. Here we go, we'll take that off, stick that one down. Don't try and do both at once, because you might get yourself in a bit of a muddle like I did before. Take that bit off there. Go. So we can always, that's alright like that. Then I've got this little strip of pumpkin pie that's left over from before. So, and I've got this little piece of pumpkin pie, so I'm just going to put these little pieces on the front. Again, I'll just use tear and tape. For our little envelopes. So you can make an envelope out of whatever paper you have, right? You can make it out of, as I've done here, some grid sheets. Or you could make it out of pattern paper. I'm going to stick this on the back as well. Or you could make it out of a brown paper bag, wrapping paper, anything that your little heart desires. So just remember, whatever your card base is, it needs to be at least half an inch. Your final envelope needs to be about 1/4 to half an inch bigger than what your card base will be. I think I've spent more time doing the envelope than I did the card. No, not quite. Oops. Excuse me. I don't know if you're allowed to say that word on Facebook. Anyway, we will. Alright, now you can trim that off there. Now we've got this piece here. Just want another little 1/4 of an inch piece. And that covers up your white. So it looks like it's supposed to be like this. I know that Megan's going to watch it later and go, I know full well, Chrissy, it wasn't supposed to be like that. But anyway, it's okay. She'll forgive me, I'm sure. I have missed so many birthdays in the last couple of weeks. It's just terrible. And like, it's not like I haven't made cards for most of them. They are handy because envelopes are dear. They are really expensive. But if you've put all of this effort into making a gorgeous handmade card, you want to have a nice envelope to go with it, don't you? So, and it's a great way, you know, when you have that ugly paper that you don't want to make a card with, but it sort of coordinates, you can use it to make an envelope. Alright, so we've fixed up that envelope that I made too small, and now it'll fit, better fit. Oh look, it fits. It does fit, come on. Well, it's trying to make a liar out of me. So look, it fits in. Look, oh look. There you go. So it fits. There we go. Ta-da! Oh dear. Alright, so that is our lovely little how to make an envelope out of grid paper and our little happy birthday. I don't like where that is. I'm just going to move that up a bit. There we go. Now, and it's using my favourite colour combination for Christmas. And it's a little gift card holder, so you can sit. Oops. You can pop your little gift card in. Do I have a sample one? Do I have a sample one? No, I don't. Surely you'd have a little gift card somewhere. Don't even have a business card to pop in there. That's a bit slack. No. So you could have popped something in like that. Right, you've got plenty of room, so you can pop something in there. Plenty of room. It's just going to hold it a little bit. It's not going to be super secure, but it's secure enough to hold it. All right. So there we go. So there's how to make an envelope, how to fix an envelope when you stuff up the measurements, and how to make a card with a little wobble. All right, everyone have a really great week. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you on Saturday for our 12 by 12 paper sampler with the North Pole Deliveries suite. Now, there was a couple of people who mentioned that they were interested in buying the PDF or the online version. Just send me a message and we will talk about that. I think the PDF is just going to have the measurements and some very basic instructions, and it will be $7. So not super expensive, but obviously you would have to provide all your own materials, but it doesn't matter where in the world that you are, you'd be able to buy the PDF. Then next week we have, on the Friday night, we have Champagne and Crafts, and we're doing some cards using the Nutcracker tag kit. And I know that Stampin' Up did a Nutcracker craft kit together last week. I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, some stupid time. Anyway, I'll have to tell you my cards are way better than those. And I'm just being modest here. No. And then some of you I will see on Thursday at Pimpama at our monthly class there. And yeah, I think that's it for the next 2 weeks, or next week and a bit. And some of you I'll see again next Tuesday here on Facebook Live. All right, that's fine, Fiona. I thought that you were coming, so I catered for you. So excellent. All right. Until next time, happy creating and bye for now. Heck, actually, let me just flip the camera around and say goodbye in person. Okay, until next time, happy creating and bye for now. And hope you have a really great rest of the week. Delphi's asleep, so she won't say hello, goodbye. But until then, bye for now.